Hello everyone, and welcome to the last episode of Cyclones TV for the season. I'm your host, Nick Durst. This year was a historic one for the Cyclones franchise, as they became the first team in New York Penn League history to have 4 million fans enter the ballpark. There were a lot of great promotions throughout the season, and that contributed to the team having the top attendance in the New York Penn League. Take a look now at some of the top promotions from this year. Some of the most memorable promotions were Saved by the Bell Night, Seinfeld Night, Impractical Jokers Bobblehead Night, the Celebrity Softball Game, Sid Finch Bobblehead Night, and Star Wars Night. David Thompson is out in the field every night playing third base for the Cyclones. I was able to catch up with him to hear what he had to say about his first professional season. Take a look. So it's been a long season for you. You came straight from college where you led the NCAA in RBIs, second home runs. How have you been able to adjust to pro ball this season?
Not good.
Not good?
This guy is not good. Sorry. I'm sorry, people, but he always complain about hurts and everything. Sorry.
So that was Edgardo Alfonso. We see you before the game sometimes. He's helping you out at third base. What have you learned from him this season?
He's taught me a lot, especially just on managing the game, like where to play for each hitter and things like that. And it's been cool to have a guy like that just learning behind.
Okay, and everyone here in the locker room has said you're the best ping pong player by far. You're even holding the paddle right now. Where did you learn all of your ping pong skills, and how long have you been playing for?
My dad got a ping pong table when I was in high school, or middle school or high school, and then we just played every day, and he's the best guy I've ever played, so that's why I got a little bit better than everyone else here.
All right, who would you say is the second best player on the team?
Magliozzi, second best player, for sure.
Okay, any personal goals for you going into the offseason and heading into next year?
Yeah, definitely I want to improve. I wasn't too happy with how I played this first season, but it's a good first experience, and I hope to just get better at the plate and defensively and get a lot bigger and faster.
Now let's take a look at the Cyclones' outstanding pitchers of the year. Alex Palsha, who was a New York Penn League All-Star this season, had 13 saves and only allowed 1 earned run in 24 2/3 innings pitched. He has a 0.36 ERA for the season. He only gave up 10 hits, and he struck out 34 batters and posted a 0.77 whip. PJ Conlon pitched 17 innings this season for the Cyclones. He posted a 0.00 ERA, he gave up 0 earned runs, he had 25 strikeouts, he only allowed 8 hits, and he had a 0.59 whip. Now let's take a look at the Cyclones' best position players from this season. Jeff Deal played in 58 games this season for the Cyclones. He was among the team leaders in average, doubles, RBIs, and home runs. He had a .289 average, he drove in 20 runs, he had 5 home runs, 12 doubles, 52 hits, and he scored 31 times. Vinny Siena was a New York Penn League All-Star this season. He played in 68 games, he had a .273 batting average, he had 19 RBIs, 6 doubles, 69 hits, and he scored 32 times on the season. Take a look now at what Cyclones manager Tom Gamboa had to say about the 2015 season. Okay, so Coach, the season's ending a year here. One of the strong suits for the team this season has been the bullpen. We all know Alex Palsha was very dominant in the league, but can you tell us a little more about the other guys that have been unsung heroes, such as P.J. Conlon and Corey Taylor?
Yeah, you're right. That was the real strength of our team was the pitching in general and specifically the bullpen. And Palsha gets all the credit with the closer gets the saves, but the other guys that got the holds, we had a number of guys in the bullpen that just had phenomenal seasons this year. And as you alluded, P.J. Conlon, he had a spectacular season, and he's of course is a starter, but he had pitched so many innings at the University of San Diego that the Mets wanted to just curtail his innings for the summer, but he'll be back in the rotation next year. And Corey Taylor from Texas Tech had a phenomenal season for us as well out of the bullpen. They generally got the holds, preceding Palsha when he came into the game, but some other guys down there, Carlos Valdez ended up with 5 saves and an ERA of in the ones, a left-hander that pitched terrific this year, and oftentimes he pitched multiple innings. And I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Craig Masigman, who ended up with like a 1.25 ERA. Sometimes he went multiple innings, as much as 3+. So yeah, it was a bullpen by committee that they all just did a really, really good job.
Okay, and New York Penn League All-Star this year, Vinny Siena, as well as Jeff Deal, they've both been promoted. They were in the lineup pretty much every night. Can you speak a little bit about their seasons?
Yeah, well, Siena came to us from the University of Connecticut, a 14th round draft choice. That he had 2 seasons in one here. I think, as what happens with a lot of college guys, at a Division I school, you're playing 3, maybe 4 times a week. But when you come into pro ball and it's 7 days a week, and the bus rides and the late odd hours. The first 6 weeks when Vinny was fresh and strong, he hit 340. He was deservedly an all-star in this league, but the last 6 weeks, he was just hanging on. I think mentally and physically, he was run down and worn out. Deal, who had a very disappointing season here a year ago, really turned it around this year. His walks went up. His strikeouts went down in comparison to last year. His average went way up. He hit 289 and led the club with 5 homers. Power is Jeff's asset, and he proved very adept at both left and right field as well as first base this year.
All right, what do you like so far that you've seen from Desmond Lindsay?
Oh, he's been very exciting. He is a very toolsy player, and by that I mean he's got a strong, compact body. He's a real plus runner, both in the field and on the bases. He's got lightning bat speed. We don't have anybody on the team with his raw bat speed. And, he was a first third baseman in high school that the Mets have converted to center field because of his speed and his athletic ability. And he's already gotten some big hits for us.
Okay, and everybody knows Michael Conforto played here last year. He's succeeding at the big league level right now. So how proud does that make you to see how successful he's been?
Oh, I think everybody with the Mets is very proud of what Michael's accomplished, and certainly the scout that originally found him, I'm sure, is beaming with a glowing smile because I've been doing this for a long time, and it's very rare to see a guy come into the game not only with Michael's skill set, but I don't know that I ever saw anybody come in with his knowledge and discipline of the strike zone. And we knew he'd be on the fast track to the big leagues. I don't think anybody projected it to be quite as fast as it was. And now, him having, a marked impact on the big league team in a pennant race. I mean, he's already hit 4 home runs and driven in 20, and he's hitting 300. I saw where he hit 3rd in the lineup yesterday. So, the Mets are thrilled with that acquisition, and as they should be. And for everybody in Brooklyn that got a chance to see him play last year, that's why people like to come out to the ballpark, is because you can say that, hey, I saw so and so when he was just breaking in, but it's rare for a guy to get there as quick as Conforto did.
All right, everyone knows you have a historic baseball career background, but what everybody might not know is you also have some acting background. You were in Moneyball, you were played as Scout. How did that role come about, and how did you enjoy your time on set?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly not an actor. That was the beginning and the end of my movie career. But one of my former players, Chad Kruder, who caught 10 years in the big leagues, He was hired as the technical advisor on the movie. The director was from Australia and didn't know really anything about baseball. So to get everything right, they hired Chad Kruder as the technical guy to make sure they got all the baseball footage scenes correct. And they had actually forgot to hire a part until literally the night before it was come about. And, they were filming in Los Angeles. I live in Palm Springs. And Chad told the director, he says, I have a former manager that actually used to be a scout and, in fact, scouted Billy Beane when he was in high school, and I might be able to get him. And so, I said, hey, I'll come in for a couple of days just to see how movies are made. And next thing I knew, I had my own trailer and it was really being treated real good. But I was only on the movie for 2 days, a very small part, but it was in fact a good movie. And everybody teases me about that I was in a movie with Brad Pitt and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I never even saw those guys the 2 days but it was fun. It was fun.
That does it for this season of Cyclones TV. Be sure to stay connected with the team throughout the offseason on social media by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Brooklyn Cyclones, liking us on Facebook, and following us on Twitter and Instagram at BK Cyclones. Special thanks to the guys behind the scenes, Rob, Tyler, Malcolm, and Chris, for making this show possible. We hope to see you at the ballpark next season, and thank you for watching Cyclones TV. I'm your host, Nick Durst. Good night, Brooklyn.